All right, Reloaders Network and range fans, what did you do in your reloading lair today?
Welcome, range fans. Mr. Revolver Guy here with dayattherange.com.
Reloaders Network, I spent some great quality time in the reloading lair, nice and warm, here in the wintertime where it can get brutally cold, with my son. That's right, he came out in the reloading lair today and pulled the handle a few times as I walked him through loading some 38 Special hollow base Wadcutters. He was really interested in the hollow base Wadcutter, trying to understand why one end was solid and the other not. So I tried to explain to him a little bit. The theory is, in a hollow base Wadcutter loaded this way, the base is supposed to open up, seal to the barrel, or create a better seal to the barrel that is supposed to lead to better accuracy. Not something I believe that I can test in any way, form, or fashion. But it did get me to thinking after we cranked out these rounds that, holy cow, I did do some testing early on, which I'll leave a link up here in the right-hand corner, of some 38 Special plus P Federal HST ammunition out of a snub-nosed revolver into some clear ballistics gelatin. And there's always been a lot of conversation out on the internet in a number of different forums about hollow base Wadcutter as self-defense ammunition. And I gotta tell you, when I'm carrying my 38 Special, this is it, folks. The Federal HST 38 Special plus P is what I've loaded. And after my test and the clear ballistics gelatin, I feel very comfortable with it. But I was wondering about the Berry's manufacturing. It doesn't have any cuts in it in any way, form, or fashion, and just wondering if it would open up at regular 38 Special velocity. Well, that's what we're going to try today. We're going to try to see if we can get these Berry's manufactured plated bullets to see if we can get them to open up at 38 Special speeds. Now, I will say, when you look at the load manual, it is on the top end of 38 Special, probably leaning more so towards 38 Special plus P, which is why you see here I've left a little space in the case here. Let's pick one up, see if we can show it. I've left a little space. Typically, 38 base Wadcutters are loaded where it's flat to the case, much like what Federal has done, my fat fingers, much like what Federal has done here. You can see that's flat and there's a tad bit of a crimp over the top of it. I left a little space in mine because it is towards the 38 Special plus P end, just to see what type of velocity we can get and how it would perform in the clear ballistics gelatin. But also, while I was at it, we loaded some Montana Gold 142 grain. I had never seen them before. They are a 142 grain bullet. And they're supposed to be semi-Wadcutter, folks. Not quite so sure of that, but it does have a pretty decent shoulder on it. We'll see how it cuts paper. We'll also put some of these across the chronograph today also. So hang in there while we head out to the range to do some clear ballistics gelatin tests on the Berry's manufactured hollow base Wadcutter and 38 Special plus P. Let's head out to the range.
Thank you, Reloaders Network and dayattherange.com fans, for joining me on the range today with either one of these 3-inch revolvers that can do nightstand duty or concealed carry duty. They're both 6-shot. This is the Smith & Wesson Model 65 that you've seen before, customized. I don't think you'll find too many of them out there with the notch front sight. That is also a night sight, folks. And then you've seen this one also. This is the Kimber K6S 3-inch that we're going to put down range with the hollow base Wadcutters across the chronograph. We're going to start with the hollow base wad cutter and the hollow base itself facing forward because I'm most interested in that round. We're going to start with putting that across the chronograph. Then we're going to flip it and put the other round down across range across the chronograph as well. And after all that chronograph testing, then we're going to put the hollow base wad cutter into some clear ballistics gelatin. So stay tuned. Let's get the chronograph set up downrange along with the camera. And let's put these rounds downrange, folks.
All right, folks. I've got 6 of these bad boys, the hollow base facing forward, or shall I say 5 in the old Kimber K6. I'm going to get my ears in and get these rounds downrange across the chronograph. Let's get these ears in. All right. Put these rounds down across the chronograph and see how they do out of the Kimber K6. The chronograph is downrange at about 7 yards. Why 7 yards? Since this is possibly defensive ammo, again, which I would never carry my reloads as a defensive ammo. I would prefer factory, and there's a long reason behind that, but let's just leave it at that, folks. But about 7 yards downrange, which is around about the common encounter for self-defense. So let's get the old Kimber K6 on the chronograph. .830 feet per second. .798. 780, 811, and 806. There you have it. The revolver is empty and safe. Now we're going to take those same 5 rounds and put them across the chronograph with the Smith & Wesson Model 65. Be right back, folks. All right, we got the Model 65 loaded up again with 5 of these bad boys right there. Let's put them across the chronograph with the new string set up and the camera set up downrange and see how she does. Trigger is so smooth. .835 feet per second on that last one. Man, 38 Special, so fun to shoot. So much fun to shoot today. Now we're going to move to the Kimber K6S with the standard wad cutter facing forward. Let's change the string downrange and get after it. I'm really interested to see, folks, how the forward facing does. My son seems to think that if the hollow base would create more drag than these forward facing. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe he's right. I don't know. Maybe the kid's right. I definitely got more velocity out of the Kimber K6 over the Smith & Wesson Model 65. But no, I've got to correct that. Maybe he's wrong. He thought that the hollow base facing forward would create more drag and possibly less velocity. But that didn't seem to work out. But I'll show you the averages at the end of the video after
the ballistics gel test. So stay tuned, folks, while I get the Model 65 loaded up. All right, I'm on my 4th string of fire with the Granddad Smith & Wesson Model 65 and the hollow base facing forward. Let's see what it does across the chronograph. Interesting. The forward-facing hollow base Wadcutter, this guy, I believe if my math is right, gave us a little bit more velocity. Now let's get to what everybody came for, and that is, let's put this hollow base Wadcutter into some clear ballistics gelatin. Stay tuned, we'll be right back, folks. All right, folks, I got the clear ballistics gelatin up downrange, and with the Kimber K6S 3-inch barrel and the hollow base Wadcutter facing forward, we're going to see how it does in the clear ballistics gelatin. We're going to shoot it single action, make sure we get it in the gel. Dead center of the gel block. Let's go down range and see what the tail of the tape has to tell us. Where is that hollow base Wadcutter? Oh, wow. We're going to take the camera off and come to this side, folks. Take a look. Take a look. Man, it went all the way through 16 inches of gel and came to rest. It looks like right there. Let's get the tail of the tape out and measure it. That stuff there is from some previous nasty testing I was doing, previous video you've seen. But through 16 inches, all the way into the second block. All right, folks. It came in right there, dead center, out of the Kimber K6S, through 16 inches, and came to rest at about 18.5 inches, about right there, probably 18.25 inches. Let's dig that bullet out and see what it looks like. All right, there it is, folks. No deformation at all, no expansion. But you can see there, looks a little weird. It did tumble quite a bit. Peeled a little bit of the jacket off. But 18.5 inches, 18.25 inches, folks, I'm sorry. And no expansion out of the Kimber K6S. I don't think it'll do any different out of the Smith & Wesson Model 65, but we're going to test it anyways to see. Kind of what I expected, since the O'Berry's hollow base bullet is not serrated in any way, form, or fashion like the HST to expand. There was no expansion out of the Kimber K6S, but for the fun of it, folks, we're going to put it through Granddad, the old Smith & Wesson Model 65, and see how the Smith & Wesson Model 65 performs through the clear ballistics gelatin with the 38 Special hollow base Wadcutter facing forward. Right next to the entrance hole of the first shot. Revolver safe. We're going to go down range, see what kind of penetration we got out of the Smith & Wesson Model 65. All day, this thing has turned in less velocity than the Kimber K6S, but let's see what the tail of the tape has to tell us. Well, check this out, folks. The Smith & Wesson Model 65 lower velocity, man, this is where it comes to rest right here. And that is at the forward edge, I'm going to say is right at 22 inches, folks. I had a hard time digging the last one out. Let's see if I can get this one out and show you what it looks like while on the range. Folks, we got the same thing here. No expansion. It is the weirdest thing though. This thing definitely tumbled into jail. I mean, serious tumbling. No deformation, but what's odd, I can't figure it out. It's like the jacketing or the copper plating is pulled back as if that piece was forward facing. But I know that this is what was forward facing. And it's that way on both bullets. Just an odd thing, folks. Well, there you have it. Out of the Smith & Wesson Model 65, 22 inches, out of the Kimber K6S, 18¼ inches with no expansion on either. Thank you for joining me at the Reloaders Network and DayAtTheRange.com.